family, it's Marin here, and I'm so grateful for you being here. Before I get to today's video, I wanted to take a moment of gratitude to thank you for all your comments and conversations, liking and sharing the videos, and most of all, contributing to the love in our community. In today's video, I want to talk about reducing or minimizing digital clutter. This is a really hard one for me. I'm a photographer and a videographer, and I do have a lot of digital clutter, so there's a system that I've had to put in place so that I don't have digital mess everywhere. Before I get into that, I wanted to take the time to mention that a lot of you guys requested having this in podcast format. So I've taken the time to do that. If you prefer podcast format, check out the links in the video description below. There's a link there and you can sign up for the podcast there. I did notice that the sound, particularly on this camera, isn't as great as on the other camera. So if you guys prefer that I use the Sennheiser mic, then it's worth setting up for you. Just let me know. So the first thing that I want to talk about is my setup when it comes to the digital process. And I've tried all kinds of ways, from storing flash drives to CDs to air or like cloud storage. But the biggest thing that I had to do was set up that process to begin with. So number one, when I download all my material, I take the time to actually download it and then filter out all the stuff that I don't like. This helps reduce just a dumping bulk photos or bulk videos in one place without really choosing what's going to add value to keep and what was like maybe just a secondary photo, or I don't know, sometimes you feel like you have 10 photos of the same thing, or like the camera was moving and you accidentally took a photo. So I like to get rid of those things and take the time to really separate the cream of the crop, ideally right away, right after I download, because if I don't, all those files wait there to be filtered later on and then they end up stacking one project after another. After I pick the cream of the crop, my ideal circumstance doesn't always happen right away, but it usually happens on a weekly basis, is I pick the favorite ones and I edit them to be delivered to clients or to be used for myself. And then with the rest of the files, I go ahead and back up the original copies of the files. I like backing up the originals as a photographer. So how I back up is I always have 2 copies. Now I've tried CDs, flash drives, SDs, or storing on the computer, and those have not really been great options for me because CDs don't hold lots of information, so I end up having huge stacks of CDs. They can get scratched, they can get lost or misplaced, and it just ends up not being very efficient. The flash drive or the SD cards, like the little cards in your camera, or the little thumb drives, aren't really great either because you don't know how long they're gonna last. They're super small, they could get lost, and I know a lot of people do this, especially when they're not so keen on like storage or like cloud backups, but it just like scares me when I see people storing their thumb drives. These things can fail at any moment. I know my SD cards have to be replaced at any given time because they're used, and just using them like that, they're not meant to be used on a daily basis like that. And then the computer, we all know the classic tale of my computer crash, it failed and I couldn't recover my files. That's like the worst possible case scenario. And for me, because I use my computer a lot, I like it to be in full running, like peak performance. So weighing it down with all kinds of files and stuff definitely affects my computer performance or my experience on the computer negatively. So those are the reasons that I don't use those particular options. The options I like to use is a cloud backup or cloud drive like Dropbox or iCloud. Those are the things I use. I know there's many different services out there, and sometimes a lot that are arguably better. And then I like external hard drives, but I have a little secret when it comes to the external hard drives. You can use one of the consumer grade external hard drives, which is great, it will work, but they definitely need to be replaced, and it's often hard to time when they're going to crash, and it's inevitable they're meant to crash at some point. So I usually carry 2 of these external hard drives. But what's actually better, or at least it makes sense on paper, I don't know if it's actually true, is to purchase a computer hard drive, and ideally a solid state drive that you can purchase or make a custom case for and use as an external hard drive. Reason being is that computer hard drives are meant to be used on a daily basis. They're meant to write, overwrite, delete, and you know, if you're using a revolving one, just continue to be used. So it has a longer lasting lifespan and more durability, and you can feel safer getting, say, a bigger hard drive like 5 terabytes and not feel like you have to worry so much about if it crashes or if it might get lost. But just like any computer can crash, it's always safe to have a secondary backup situation. And so I usually have 2 hard drives exactly the same, and then every 3 to 5 years or so, depending on how much I use it, I replace it right away, and then I take that old hard drive that is old and I use it as an external hard drive for just using temporary files on my computer until it crashes. The other thing that I use regularly is cloud storage, Dropbox, iCloud, or any of those services. And what I love about that is you don't have to have an external device to access your files. All you need is internet access. So I can access it on my phone. If I'm at my friend's house, I also love that you can share the link with friends and family or clients and coworkers. In my case, I have to share a lot of files with my clients, so I love using Dropbox for that. Most of the time, because it can cost significantly to store large amounts of information on there, I only utilize it for finalized files, meaning the edited photos, meaning the things that I am going to want to access to maybe post on Instagram a week later, or want to share these files with friends or family, or be able to download it, or have somebody be able to download it from their computer remotely. So those are the things that I really use Dropbox for. And even with that, once they get to like 2 or 3 years old, especially for clients, these files are not ones that I tend to keep or look back on. I just end up trashing them, or keep the ones that I really like and then delete the files completely, so that my Dropbox maintains the same amount of space that I can continue to use over and over, and I'm not like slowly increasing the amount that I have to pay over time to store all these files. It gets really costly. So that is just the way that I approach storing or minimizing my digital clutter. It is a constant process since I'm in constant creation. If it's something that you just want to do once a month or once every quarter of the year because you don't film every single day like I do, totally understandable. Just find a system and find a way to back up your stuff, and make sure you have at least 2 types of backups. Like, I really highly recommend that. And then filing for me is the most sane way that I can stay organized, and usually how that goes is it goes from year to type of file. So meaning I got year 2017, then I open that up and I have video, photo, documents. When I open up video, I have personal video, YouTube videos, videos for clients, yoga, fitness, etc. And I like to keep things really organized in that way, and it helps me access the files and know where they're located without feeling completely bombarded by digital clutter. But the truth of the matter is, I actually have a lot of digital stuff that I hang on to. It's really easy when your hard drive's this small. And so it's just all about choosing what to keep and what adds value, and constantly revisiting whether or not you want to continue to keep that or continue to pay to keep it organized, pay in time and money to keep it organized and to store your stuff, or if you can let it go. I hope that this system has found you some insight and possibly some potential pathways for you to help organize, store, or minimize your digital clutter. Thank you so much for being here. And if you have any questions or comments, let me know below. Also, let me know you like this video by hitting the thumbs up. If you think somebody can enjoy this video, feel free to share. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao.